This is the story of Ragnar Lothbrok and the shield-maiden Lagertha. Their names would one day become legend. But this tale begins when they were still young, untested, and full of fire. The tale opens on a bitter night in Norway. Unbeknownst to the people of this kingdom, an army of Vikings had entered their land. Fro, the ruthless king of Sweden, had crossed the borders with an army of raiders, sweeping through the countryside like a plague. Every village they entered, they put to the torch. Homes, barns, and halls went up in flames, lighting the night sky in red. The screams of the helpless were carried on the cold northern wind. His greatest act of cruelty came when he struck down King Sigurd, the noble ruler of Norway and Ragnar Lothbrok's grandfather. Fro's malice knew no bounds. To humiliate the vanquished king's family, he seized the women of Sigurd's household and forced them into a brothel, a public display meant to crush their spirits and dishonor their lineage. Yet among these women was one whose spirit could not be broken. Lagertha, a noblewoman of extraordinary resolve. Night settled over the Danish coast. In the longhouse, warriors roared with drink and victory, their raid fresh in memory. Ragnar Lothbrok sat apart, quiet amid the noise. He could feel something was wrong. Word of Fro's atrocities reached Ragnar Lothbrok. The news of his grandfather's murder lit a fire of vengeance within him. Ragnar raised an army and sailed toward Norway, vowing to restore honor to his family and liberate the land from Fro's tyranny. As Ragnar approached the occupied territory, he received an unexpected message. A small group of women, dressed as warriors, sought to join his ranks. These were not seasoned fighters, but women of King Sigurd's court, clad in stolen armor, their faces set with grim determination. At their head stood Lagertha. Lagertha stepped forward to address Ragnar. "We have suffered under Fro's cruelty," she said, her voice steady despite the weight of her words. "But we are not victims. Give us weapons, and we will fight. Let us take back what was stolen from us." Ragnar studied the women, impressed by their courage. "You have the heart of warriors," he said. "If you are willing to bleed beside us, you are welcome in my shield wall." With their resolve proven and Ragnar's trust won, the women marched alongside his men as the army set out for battle. When Ragnar's army reached the fields outside Sigurd's former hall, they found Fro's forces entrenched, confident in their strength. But Ragnar had a plan. He divided his forces, sending Lagertha and her women to flank the enemy while his main force drew their attention. Ragnar led a fierce charge, his warriors clashing with Fro's soldiers in a storm of steel. Meanwhile, Lagertha and her women emerged from the forest, striking the enemy from behind. Despite their lack of experience, the women fought with a ferocity born of desperation and pride. Lagertha fought with precision and courage, rallying her companions and striking fear into the hearts of Fro's men. Her bravery turned the tide of the battle, allowing Ragnar to press forward and face Fro. Ragnar confronted Fro in single combat, their swords clashing in a brutal exchange. Though Fro was a seasoned warrior, Ragnar's skill and rage proved too much. With a final strike, Ragnar brought Fro to his knees and ended his reign of terror. As Fro fell, the remaining enemy soldiers fled, leaving the field to Ragnar's victorious army. Cheers erupted from the warriors, but none were louder than the cries of the women who had fought to reclaim their honor. In the aftermath of the battle, Ragnar could not take his eyes off Lagertha. Her courage and ferocity had turned the tide of the fight, and her spirit had left an indelible mark on the young warrior. But though Ragnar admired her deeply, he had not yet won her heart. That would be a battle of a different kind. If you're fascinated by Nordic mythology and history, make sure to subscribe.